Hi, it's Will from StormTheCastle.com, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make an origami flapping bird. And by flapping bird I mean that you can see the bird there, that when you pull on its tail the wings actually flap. And let me cut in an animation, let me cut in a video here to show you the bird flapping. You pull on the tail like this and the wings flap, and if you did a nice enough job it'll flap on its own. Fly, little birdie, fly! So all you're going to need for this origami project is a square of paper. You know, I'm going to use paper that's 8 inches by 8 inches, but you can use just about any size. And I remember reading somewhere that the actual smallest flapping bird ever made was used a square of paper that is 1/10 of an inch square, which is kind of interesting. So let's get started. Okay, let's do this fold. Now if you have two-sided paper with different colors, start with the color you prefer on the bottom, down like this. Fold this in half diagonally, like this. Now I'm using pretty thick paper here, so it's going to be a little tricky for me to fold. But if you can, use thick paper because it gives you a better flapping motion. So you fold it in half diagonally and then fold it in half diagonally again. Now what we're going to do here, we're actually going to go through a couple of different things. We're going to make something called the preliminary base. It's the beginnings for a lot of different origami folds. So hold it like that. Now this is a little bit tricky. We're going to squash this down like this. Pick up the top flap, just like that. Hold it vertical. Put your finger in there and get your finger right into the corner. And see how this wants to go this way? So just help that along and squash that down. And what it does is it causes a nice square to be made. See that? That wasn't so hard. And this is the same thing if you've done my origami crane, and I'm in the middle of doing quite a few of them, over 600 right now, on my way to 1,000. This is exactly how you start it. Same way. So if you've done that one, you know how to do this. So hold up, now you flip it over, do the same thing on the back half. Hold up the flap, get your finger in there, try to get down to the corner, and then compress that, squash that down to make a square. Very nice. This is called the preliminary base. Now rotate this so all the open flaps here are on the bottom. Okay, now we're going to move on to something called the bird base. You're going to fold both of these into the center, like this, along this line and along this line. And I'll rotate it here to show you. Now with thick paper this can be a little bit tricky. Try to keep your point nice and sharp down the bottom. So we do that fold 4 times. Fold that into the center, and then fold the other side into the center. Try to keep your point nice and sharp. There we go. So I'll flip it over and do those 2 folds again on the other side. Okay, fold into the center. There we go. Fold into the center. Very good. Now we've got a little bit more to go before we finish off the bird base. So orient it like this, and along this line here crease this. Creasing means you fold it down, make a nice crease, and then fold it back up. See? Now this is the hardest part of the whole fold, and you can do this. Open these flaps, grab just the top layer and bring it this way, swivel it along that crease. You want to open that up, and see how these sides want to come in right on the creases you made? Help those along. Bring them right in along those creases that you made, just like that. Very nice. There we go. Flatten it out and then flip it over and do the other side. Alright. Crease that flap. Send it back. Open up your side flaps. And then bring this up and over. Right along that fold that you made, that crease. And then help these sides down just like that. Very nice. There we go. Now this is called the bird base, and we're just about done. That's the hardest part of this whole fold. So make sure you have your split legs on the bottom here. These are the legs and the head. Make sure those are about down and towards you. Take the left side, and with this as your pivot point here, as your ending point, fold it at approximately a 45-degree angle. The 45-degree angle is from here to here, just like that. And this is just a crease. Make a nice crease in that. Now this is a little tricky. You're going to actually tuck this inside here. Fold it back. Open up these two sides just a little bit, and then take this and bring it right in there like that. That's a little bit tricky, but you can get it. There we go. Very nice. Now we do the same thing on the other side. Fold it at about a 45-degree angle, just to crease it, and then open it up a little bit and fold that right in there. Ends up being reversed. It's called a reverse. See it? Find your angle. There we go. Just about done. Now, let's make the little, fold this in to make the little head of the bird. Just like that. Right. Now towards the front of the bird, so take the top flap, fold it from this very end here of the fold, see that? And stay a little sharp along this line. Fold it like that. Goes right as far down here as you can get it. And see how this line stays? Flip it over and do the same thing. Take the wing, fold it from there, stay at an angle. There we go. Very nice. Okay, we're just about done. One more thing. Flip it over just because I like to work it this way. Now you're going to swivel this down like this. Right? Grab the tail and bring it down about halfway like this. See that? So this point is about in the middle of that tail. Just like that, and then squash it down. See it? And that's it. The bird is done. So what you can do is, now you want to try it, see if it works. Spread the wings out a little bit. Now you can pull on it and make them flap. There we go. That is how to make the origami flapping bird. Thanks for watching. Lots more stuff on our website, www.stormthecastle.com.
No. Yeah.
I know. I wonder if we could run it backwards.
What?
Flap it and then I'll grab it and flap it.
Oh, you could.
Alright, so once you're done, oh, is it running? Yeah. Okay, once you're done making your origami flapping bird, you pull on the tail like this and the wings flap. And if you did a nice enough job, it'll flap on its own. Fly, little birdie, fly!